Hi everybody, Cynthia here. So I'm back to share with you this super cute gift box. It measures 7 by 2 by 1 inches high for the beaded charms that I shared with you in a previous video. So the paper that I used for this is, let me get it out, I'm so sorry. It's by DCWV, and it was a limited edition, but I've had it in my stash for a while, and I really wanted to use some of it up, so I started using scraps. But it's called the Violet Leaf Stack. So that's the one I used for the papers. And I just used some of the same seam binding that I used for the beaded seam binding tassel charm. And it can house 1 or 2 comfortably without really smashing them. So let's get started. What you're going to need is a sheet that measures 9 by 7. You're going to line it up at the 9-inch mark. Let me check to make sure. Sorry, I'm in camera here. Yes. Okay, you're going to line it up at the 9-inch mark, and you're going to score at 1 inch on both sides. So 1 inch, and then turn it around to the opposite side and score at 1 inch again. And then you're going to flip it and turn it to the 7-inch side. You're going to score at 1 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. Set our scoreboard aside and fold up our score lines. I just thought these little boxes would be so cute if you wanted to gift some of your beaded, you know, the longer beaded charms to a friend. Use it in your friend mail, birthday gifts. You could do these like at Christmas time and make these boxes for stocking stuffers. And I mean, you could put other things in them, but I thought they would be a perfect size for the beaded tassel charms. Okay, so we're going to start cutting up our score lines. So down here in this right hand corner, we're going to cut up on this score line to meet up with the next. And don't go over. I'm just going to cut a little angle piece out. Okay, so you have one little tab that looks like that. And this, when you cut a little angle out, when you go to fold up your box, it just enables this top part here to be flush with this. And it makes assembly so much easier. So we're going to do the same thing to the opposite side. Cut up on your score line, meet up with the next, and don't cut over. And then take out a little angle piece, and you're going to flip it directly to the opposite side and do the same thing. Cut up on your score line to meet up with this next score line. Don't cut past that, and then just cut out a little angle piece. Same thing over here. Cut up on your score line and angle it. Okay, so you should have 4 tabs, 4 little tabs on each of the corners. Now you're going to turn it to the middle section of your box, and you're going to cut up these score lines. So cut up on this score line and angle a little piece out, and then cut up on this score line and take a little tiny angle piece out. So you have your 2 corner tabs and then you have this center tab here. Go to the opposite side and do the same thing. Cut up on that score line and angle. Okay, so before we assemble our box, I'm going to flip it around. This is the outside of my box, and I'm going to start putting my mats. So for this section here and this section here, these are the sides of our box. You're going to need 4 little pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4 that measure 1 7/8 by 7/8. And I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. I find it easier to mat my box before I assemble it, but you can do it either way, whichever is easier for you. You could put your box together and then put your mats on, or you could mat it beforehand and then assemble your box. Okay, so then you have this middle section and the 2 end pieces, and those measure 6 7/8 by 7/8. I missed doing 2 videos just last week because we were celebrating my birthday and just doing all kinds of stuff. And so I'm going to be adding some extra videos this week. You know, project shares, tutorials. And we're actually thinking about practicing going live. I've never done it before. So I will post in the community page when we're thinking about doing it. But my hubby and I thought we'd give it a little test run and do like a coffee talk video. I haven't done one of those in a long time. And just to see if you guys can hear us. And then we want to be able to have the camera facing us so you guys can see us, and then also facing down on the project. So we're kind of working all the kinks out of that, and the only way to really see if you can do it is to do a test run. So we are absolutely thinking about doing that. Okay, so your pieces that are going to go on top here, when you put this together, there's going to be a bottom piece and a top piece. I would like this to be my top piece, and I want to make sure my flowers are pointing in the right direction. If you don't have a pattern paper, you don't need to worry about that, but I mean, even that way looks really nice, but I kind of wanted to point this way, so I want to make sure when I mat that I'm doing that in the right direction. Oh geez, did I give you the measurements for this? I'm so sorry if I didn't. These 2 pieces, the bottom and the top of the box, measure 6 7/8 by 1 7/8. And this is probably going to be the bottom of my box, so I'm not too concerned away the pattern is facing. And if it's too confusing for you, wait to assemble your box and put these this mat on the top and the bottom when you get it all assembled. Okay, so we're going to take these two tabs and we're going to add adhesive. And you could use double-sided tape or liquid glue, whatever you're comfortable. You can use stick glue. And we're going to fold this up to meet with this section here. So fold it up and then fold this piece up like that and press them together. And the same thing on this side, fold it in and press that together. And then I just use my bone folder to kind of push those tabs down and make sure they're nice and adhered. Okay, so this part is our lid, but we want to bring these two tabs in, pull this up, and glue these two tabs into the inside of this box. So you're going to want to add some glue, fold these tabs up, and press. And I'm going to press it down with my bone folder. And the same thing on this side. I'm going to add liquid glue to this tab. And press it up. And then push that down. Okay, so this part's going to be our lid. We're going to fold these two tabs in here and glue them to this tab up here. Same way we did the bottom of the box. So glue on the small tab, fold it up, and this piece goes up to meet it. Glue on this little tab here. Fold this up. And then press it down with your bone folder. And then in here, I did on this box, I used my 1-inch circle punch and just punched it halfway so that you could easily put your thumb there and pull the box open. You could do that if you want, or you can let it go. It's entirely up to you. Let me close my box up. Usually I do that before I glue it, but I didn't do that this time. So let me see if I can actually, yeah, put it in there halfway. Just cut out a little circle piece and voila, it is all done. So you could put one in each of them and have two gifts, or I'm sorry, I kind of smashed that side down. Get in there, seam binding. And then I just used some of the scrap seam binding I had left over and just tied a bow onto the box. And you could put a little gift tag on here. It's entirely up to you. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And that's it, guys. That's how I created my little flip lid gift box for the beaded tassels that I showed you guys I made. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.